CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
North of the Malahat, the price of a single-family home has dipped slightly, but overall, the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board says Mid-Island properties are holding their value. In October, the average price of a home sold was just over $324,000 outside of Greater Victoria. That's just slightly less than the average price of a year ago, at just over $325,000. Realtors say overall, the island market is stable.
Well, I think that's just the overall economy. There's certainly not a whole reason to get excited. People are certainly taking their time to make decisions in their buying. It's not an exciting market, but flat is almost an up market these days.
Now, while prices remained relatively stable across the board on the Mid-Island, unit sales differed dramatically. The Cowichan Valley saw a 23% spike in sales. The Comox Valley was up by 10%, and Campbell River was up 8%. The average was brought down by the Port Alberni West Coast region, where unit sales plunged by 56% compared to October of last year. Well, anyone who might be looking for employment at the Insurance Corporation of BC need not apply, at least not right now. ICBC is slashing jobs, 250 of them. ICBC says that the majority of these cuts will be to management positions. 2 executive positions and 4 vice presidents are going to be eliminated. And most of those cuts will be made by the end of this year. Meantime, ICBC has come to a tentative deal with 1,300 of its unionized employees. The package includes a 4% wage increase, retroactive to March of 2010. The job action by ICBC staff will stop on Sunday. Ratification votes will begin next week. Vancouver Island University and the support staff there, represented by CUPE, have agreed to mediation to try to get their stalled contract talks moving. Earlier this week, nearly 300 food service workers, clerical staff, facilities workers and library staff voted in favor of job action. Both sides say their first priority is students. They say they want to come to an agreement without disrupting classes. The key issue in that dispute is money. Well, British Columbia's new Lieutenant Governor already knows what she will be having for her first dinner at Government House. The cattle rancher from the Nicola Valley says her choice for the main course is, of course, beef. Judith Guichon was sworn in today as the 29th Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia. She told the Assembly, filled with politicians and dignitaries and friends, that she is humbled and she is honored to be chosen as the Queen's representative in the province. Guichon knows she has big shoes to fill.
I will endeavour to carry on the programs that my predecessors initiated. Awards of excellence, developing our youth and literacy, as well as supporting reconciliation efforts. But I will also focus my attention on our land.
Guichon says she looks forward to traveling the province in her new role. She says her focus will be to highlight the roles of people who live and work off the land and the importance of protecting it. People who know her well say she is the perfect person for the job.
There has been a rancher once before as an LG, but it was a long time ago, so I think it's a perfect pick and a way forward for us in the industry. She really is a steward of the grasslands and the industry, and I think she'll do a fantastic job for all of BC.
Guichon replaces the outgoing Lieutenant Governor Stephen Point, who served in the post for the past 5 years. Let's check in on New York City now. And in the wake of Hurricane Sandy, New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg today, under pressure, called off the New York City Marathon. Bloomberg made that decision this afternoon amid mounting criticism of the timing of the event this Sunday. With the death toll in New York City at more than 40 and people in storm-ravaged areas like Staten Island still shivering without electricity, many New Yorkers were furious at the prospect of police officers being assigned to protect marathon runners Sunday. The race had been scheduled to start on Staten Island, which is one of the hardest hit areas.
No heat, we have no power.
We have bodies being removed up the block. We are devastated here.
The best way to help New York City at this time is to say that we will not be conducting the 2012 ING New York City Marathon.
That will obviously be difficult news for people who have trained all year, people who have come around the world to run in it, but it's the right decision.
19 of the 40 New Yorkers killed in Sandy were on Staten Island, including 2 little boys swept out of their mother's arms. An estimated 40,000 runners from around the world were expected to take part in the 42-kilometer event, including some runners traveling to New York who are already there from Vancouver Island. RCMP on the West Shore in Greater Victoria are on the lookout for a missing 14-year-old girl from Colwood. Mounties say Willow Lohan was last seen at Spectrum School this morning, but her parents have not seen her since yesterday. Willow's about 5'8" in height, about 120 pounds. She has short brownish blonde hair with hazel eyes and wears black-rimmed glasses. Last seen wearing blue jeans and a black cardigan, and she was carrying a big denim-looking bag. She's traveling with a 14-year-old boy who is shorter than she is. Her family is eager to get her home. If you see Willow, you're asked to contact West Shore RCMP. Well, as Astrid mentioned earlier, the clocks roll back this weekend, ending daylight saving time. And as the days get shorter and the nights get longer, drivers are being warned, as they are at every time this year, to be on the alert and stay sharp. Police say it's the time of year when accident rates go up. With the time change this weekend, your evening rush hour, your commute home will be in the dark. Police say when you are behind the wheel, it takes about 1.5 seconds to react to something. And if you don't see it until you're right on it, you're not going to have time to react.
We really want to make sure we're giving extended periods of time to get to our destination and better time for stopping distances. Make sure your headlights are on and make sure your car is in good repair. Your tires, especially now, are going to play a large part in the traction you will or won't have depending on what shape they're in.
By this time Sunday, it'll be this dark outside by about 20 to 5. By the way, the same goes for cyclists. If you're on your bike and it's this dark, the Motor Vehicle Act requires you to have a light on the front and a red light on the rear when you're in dark conditions. One more thing to add to your list, the fire department says as you turn the clocks back, it's the perfect time to change the battery in your smoke alarm.
If they're working and if they're in the right places, they do miracles. I mean, early warning is what you really want to have. You want to have things happening, so once you hear it, you want to have a safe place that you go to, a routine of how you get out and get out safe.
Firefighters say after you swap out that 9-volt battery and you test the beep, inspect the alarm as well for any defects or dust buildup. Also, check the date it was manufactured. If it has been hanging from your ceiling for 8 years or longer, it's time to replace it. A developing story from the Lower Mainland tonight. Police say a device that was found on the elevated tracks of the SkyTrain line in Surrey was indeed an explosive device. Police say the object was spotted by a passenger on the tracks. The device looked like a small propane tank with straps and wires attached. The bomb squad was called and recovered the device. Police are now looking it over carefully and are looking at surveillance video for any clues about who may have left it there. The incident has disrupted SkyTrain service on the Lower Mainland, delayed by about 3 hours, but the trains across Greater Vancouver are now running.